Do you see this? This is a bug. This bug is like stuck upside down. I tell you, Florida in the summer sucks. Rivian has once again graced us with an awesome software update. Some would even say phenomenal. Software update with 2025.18, which features a lot of goodies, including enhancements to driver display for Gen 2 owners, and a brand new energy app on the Rivian, as well as charging data, energy monitor, all that. And we'll go through all those details. And also, Rivian has introduced a multi-factor driving PIN. Pretty much consider it a way of enabling PIN to drive, right? Where you're required to put in a PIN in order to start driving your Rivian. So we're gonna jump into all those goodies. There's gonna be a lot of fun clips in this video. So let's jump into the Energy 2.0 app and talk about all the fun that has come with this new update. All right, guys, we are going to jump into the new Energy app. This replaces the old Energy app, so you could just tap the little lightning bolt and you are presented with the new Energy app. Let's walk through everything that is in here, starting with the charging screen, and then we'll go into the energy monitor screen. So here in the charging screen, you are presented with your current mileage. Here on the left hand side, you can click on where it says range base on all purpose. This will pull up the previous menu that you've probably seen before, where it kind of shows you what your estimated range will be based on the drive mode you're in. You also have the ability to open the charge port by clicking on this button right there, and that will open up your charge port. You can close it as well there. Friends, we finally have it, and many of you may not even find this that useful, but for some of us, it's very exciting. We have the button that says prepare for fast charging. It says preparing your battery to help you charge faster at DC fast chargers. Here's what to expect. Some energy will be used. It may take up to an hour or more. Cooling the cabin will slow down the process. Conditioning can run up to 2 hours and continue when the vehicle is unoccupied. Note: if you route to a charger using a navigation app, the battery will automatically prepare itself for fast charging. We kind of knew that. And then you have the option here to hit prepare battery or find a charger. If you hit prepare battery, the battery will start preconditioning and you will get a message here that says warming battery for fast charging. And right now it says ready up to 100 kilowatts. So based on your current state of charge, so I'm at 65% right now, this will either require your battery to go warmer or cooler. So if I switch over here to this drive mode screen, I can see that my battery right now is at 99 degrees Fahrenheit. And right now the preconditioning wants to heat it up. So right now it is warming the battery for preconditioning. And you'll see that, I'll show you all the last session here in a second, but that's what it's doing. Now, if it would require for cooling, you would see battery cooling for faster charging. You can then click again on the button to stop the preconditioning. Sorry. You then here have a button for outlets, where it kind of just takes you over to the outlets shortcut that we're kind of used to seeing before. And then here you can adjust how much amperage you will want to use when using a level 2 charger in your house. And you can use the buttons to go up and down, up to 48 amps max. Here in the middle, you're presented with this really nice slider that lets you slide anywhere you want. And as you slide, it will show you your projected mileage range. If you don't like using the slider, you can use the buttons that are presented to you down here. By default, you get 100% max, 85% extended, 70% daily, and then you get a custom button that when you click on it doesn't really do anything. But if I were to set it to 50%, it would automatically set that as the custom button. What's nice is that it now remembers that that's my custom button, so I can always come back to it if I want to. You also have these little info icons that you can click on that tells you more information, like this one that tells you what charge limit should I pick. On my max pack battery, which is not an LFP battery, it tells you that 70% for daily charging is more than good enough, and then 100% if you want a max range. You then also have a graph. This is a charging graph. This will show you your last charging session. So as you can see here, I charged at home. You can hover over with your finger and click on any of these buttons or any of these lines in the graph to see how much percentage you were at, how many kilowatts you were bringing into your vehicle, and then at about what time it was happening. And you can kind of see a little chart. Now, unfortunately, once you get to 70%, not unfortunately, but like once you get to 69%, I got to 70, as you can see the vehicle stopped charging. And I can see down here that I brought in 99.5 kilowatt hours of battery. Because I was level 2 charging at home, it doesn't bring in an estimate, and it took 9 hours and 44 minutes. Now you can click on this and switch it. So now, instead of telling you how many kilowatt hours you brought in, it tells you, hey, you filled up 243 miles worth of energy into your vehicle. You can click again, and we'll change. Boom, boom. Cool, right? Then you have your schedule. And here's where you can come in. This is similar to what we've had before. So you can set scheduling at your current location if you want. And you can come in here and adjust the scheduling for whatever you want. You can do daily. You can do weekdays if you want. And then that will let your vehicle charge on a schedule. Finally, over here on the right hand side, it's going to give you information on your last charging session. So you can click on the little dot, and it kind of gives you a key of what each icon is. So you have the battery pack, the climate, your outlets, and then the systems, which is kind of energy used for vehicle electronics. And so you can see that 94.3 kilowatt hours out of 99.6 went into the vehicle. 4.7 kilowatt hours were used by the vehicle systems. 0.6 kilowatt hours were used by the climate, and then 0 on the outlets because I did not have those running. So that kind of tells you everything you need to know, and it's a nice little graph. Doesn't do anything if you click on that. It does tell you how long the charging session took. So this is what this looks like. Now, the next option we have here is energy monitor. So here we go. Right now, I am parked in my driveway. It is 94 degrees, and it is telling me that my projected range impact is high. Look at the poor gear guard. He is sweating. If you click on him, he gives you different faces. Isn't that cute? So my projected range impact right now is high. It says that I will use 77.1 miles over the next 24 hours. If you don't like miles and prefer kilowatt hours, you can do that. If I were to leave my vehicle as is right now with climate running, sitting outside, it would use 31.7 kilowatt hours over the next 24 hours. Tip: the vehicle systems are using more energy than usual. So you're going to get a little tip there, and I'll show you when we start driving what those tips kind of look like. Here you've got an energy bar chart, so it shows you how much energy is currently being utilized in your park state, and then as well as in your drive state. And I'll tell you about drive in a bit. So here's your park state. You can see if you click the little eye here, the icon, it tells you that the graph displays total energy usage over a selected time frame. Energy consumption is sampled several times per minute and shown as a trend. And then here you can also select, do you want the last 8 hours? Do you want the last 24 hours? Or do you want since I parked, right? That's when you put your vehicle into park. And then it tells you what's currently using energy. 0.8 kilowatt hours on climate and 0.5 kilowatt hours on vehicle controls. So right now I'm using 1.3, and again you get this little bar, this little key right here that you can visit. Projected range impact. Based on your driving efficiency, we can estimate how much energy you'll use during the next hour of driving or the next 24 hours if you're parked. Now, let's go for a little drive, and I'm going to show you what this looks like. But first, I'm going to turn on my cooling seat because it is a scorcher out there, you guys. So I'm going to switch to drive. As you can see, automatically the vehicle changes over to the drive mode, right? Parked is here. This is drive. Right now it's saying normal because it's calculating what my range is going to look like. So let's go for a little drive. I have the phone on a stand in my car here, so I'm not holding it or anything. We're just going to keep an eye out on this. So I'm going to drive. Like I mentioned, it is 94 degrees outside right now. It's warm. And I have climate set to low right now. Like, it's not running super long or super high. because I want to make sure that you can hear me in the video, because if I run the AC, it will get loud in here. But as you'll see here, we're starting to use some energy. There's the green that just popped in there. That means that is regenerative braking that I'm using in order to bring energy back into my battery. And so you can see over here in this little chart that now we're starting to see different details. You can see the little car icon, which is the drive mode, is using currently the most amount of power out of the battery. Then you have HVAC, and then you have system controls. Then you have over here it's still calculating, so as we start driving. And as like I said before, you can change this to be your current drive, your last hour, or the last 15 minutes of time. So now here you're bringing in real-time information. This is getting updated in real time. I can see my average miles per kilowatt hour, my distance traveled, and my average speed. This is based on my current drive. If I were to do the last hour, it would bring up additional data in my last hour. But now we're just going to do current drive here. And let's just, I'm going to drive normally. So we're going to drive here, and you'll see that the data will start populating. You could click on each one of these things and see that I brought in, 0.03 kilowatt hours regen back into the battery. And then you can see how much battery I'm currently using. If I accelerate quickly, you'll see that the bar chart will get a little bit smaller because the range gets higher, right? Like now you have a more energy usage. But if I slow down or if I regen brake, you'll see green will populate back into the bar if I were to stop or slow down, like that. So we're just going to take a little drive here. I won't talk too much unless something important pops up on the screen and it needs me to, talk. But yeah, we'll just go for a little drive here. We're at a stoplight, so you can see that we brought in a little bit more regen power. We've used 0.5 and we've brought back 0.2. This calculating does, I've seen, take a couple of minutes, especially, I think it takes maybe a mile or so before you start seeing any data populate there. And I'll drop in some clips in between this video here showing you just a couple of different options. So when you get low usage, right, low projected range impact, it's quite nice, right? So if you're doing a lot of regenerative braking, or you're driving somewhere where there's not a lot of energy usage, you will see low, and that's really nice. You get normal, which is kind of your standard. And then you have high, which is going to tell you, hey, you are doing high projected range impact. That could be driving at highway speeds or faster, maybe going 80 miles per hour on a highway, and efficiency is definitely taking a beating at that point. Maybe your HVAC is running a lot because it's hot outside. These are all different things that will impact your efficiency and range. And as a user, right, as a normal person driving, you may already know some of these details. You may already know a little bit about this or that, but there's a lot of people out there who do not know what actually impacts, potentially the efficiency while driving. And so this is nice because now you will kind of get a bird's eye view of it right directly in your vehicle here. So now we're driving, hoping the calculating, we're working on it, will populate soon. I have not figured out yet exactly how much driving you have to do in order for it to start populating, but yeah, let's just drive here. I'm doing about 50 miles per hour right now, so you can see the energy usage, and you can keep an eye on the chart over there on the right hand side to really see a breakdown of where everything, where all my energy is going. Here we go. So it's now calculated, and it says my projected range impact is normal. It's saying I'll use 15 kilowatt hours over the next hour. If you click on this little arrow, it will change to, it will show you miles. So if you prefer to see in miles. It'll show you 38 miles over the next hour. And then tip, energy use is looking good. Also, if you click over here, that will change to miles. So if you're a person that prefers miles over kilowatt hours, you can do that. So it is your choice as to what you want to use. So we're approaching a light here, and then we're going to jump on the highway. I'm going to show you what that looks like while driving on the highway in terms of projected range impact. If I were to go a little bit faster than normal, it doesn't like, you know, it pretty much, if you're going over 65 miles per hour, it's like, whoa, 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 you're really impacting efficiency. Slow down. But of course, most people are not going to go and slow down. Let me turn this off so it's not so loud. So we're at a stoplight here now, just waiting. So you'll see that this data updates in real time, showing you how much usage. As this number goes up, that means that you're using more energy to do, you know, to drive and all that. And so something to note. Weather, you know, plays a huge role. As you can see, you know, we've reached 100 degrees outside Fahrenheit, so it is hot. That's probably not helping. You know, if we look at the battery's 100 degrees as well. There's a lot of things that are, you know, that play into impacting all of this. We're just waiting here. I know you can't really see, but we're waiting to get on the highway. All right, we are on the ramp. And so now as we pick up speed here, you should see this yellow graph go up because there's more energy being utilized to get to speed on the ramp to get to highway speed. So this number will also increase. Okay, we've reached 65 miles per hour, so we're cruising on up to 70. 75. I'm gonna set highway assist to 80. This highway has hands-free, which is very nice, so I can take my hands off, keep my eyes on the road. As you can see here, we're looking at now 19 kilowatt hours of usage over the next hour. Because I'm doing 80 miles per hour, my efficiency will start dropping. The car will probably say, hey, you know, slow down if you want to save, if you want to be more energy efficient. Now there are other cars on the road, so I'm not able to keep 80 miles per hour. We're at 75 right now. But you can see the energy usage is in fact going up. The projected energy use, as you can see in miles or kilowatt hours if you like here. And like I said, I will throw some clips in here of what it looks like in low and what it looks like in high. And there is a lot of different things that will impact efficiency and all this. Like I said, weather, rain, snow, you know, there's just a bunch of different things that will impact your projected range impact. So be mindful of that. No two vehicles or no two owners are going to experience the exact same thing. If you're experiencing stop and go traffic, it will also alert you that, oh, consider braking less, right? You'll get a tip like that. It's like, well, it's not really a choice I have. So some of the tips are not necessarily, super useful or relevant to what you're doing, right? But you kind of get an idea of what's happening here. So I'm gonna get off the highway here. We'll kind of flip around back, but I'm gonna start braking hard. There's no one behind me to see, if the car kind of throws a message about braking hard. But yeah, that pretty much shows you the energy monitor. I hope that was a nice little sample of what it looks like. So I'm doing highway driving, and one of the tips that just popped up here is try keeping your average speed around 65 to conserve more energy. And the problem is the speed limit here is 75, so going 65 is not ideal. But there is a tip, and there's a gear guard a little concerned about my high state of projected range impact. Okay, so we are jumping on the highway here, and I wanted to show you some visual upgrades done to the driver display for Gen 2. You saw a person walking there. They've added more visibility and clarity to vehicles. They've added an influx of more vehicles showing up. It can now see multiple more lanes than it did before. And everything is just overall very smooth. So we have highway assist turned on, and I'll keep hands on for this. But you can see everything just looks much smoother, and vehicles look cleaner, and everything is just better. So I just want to give props to Rivian for continuing to improve this UI experience here for owners, because yeah, it's really good. Okay, so I'm going to show you next multi-factor driving, which is pretty much a pin to drive situation where you can input a pin to drive your vehicle. So you want to make sure you have the latest software update on your phone, which is 3.10. When you scroll down to security and access, And you're going to see this new option here that says multi-factor drive, approve in mobile app to drive. So I'm going to enable it. It's going to say, hey, driver will still need a valid key, and they'll need to make sure they're using their mobile app to authenticate before they can start driving. Okay. So now I've enabled that. I'm going to get out of the car, lock it, and come back into it. So let's do that. Join me. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open this up, lock it, and then unlock. Now, once I've unlocked it, it says press brake to start. And I got an alert here that says approve drive to keep going. Approve drive, your vehicle is ready. Okay to start driving. Yes, let's go. Ready to drive. Boom, and now it's unlocked it. And I can put it into drive and start going. There's no motorcycle next to me, you guys. There's nothing there. I do not know where that motorcycle came from. Anyways, so we put it in the park and we're good to go. But yeah, that is how you do that. You can always come back in here, go to security and access, turn it off. You also have a view time code. So like if you can't access your device to press the button, you can do the code here as well. And then you can turn it off when you want. You can turn it on whenever you like. So up to you. But that's all it takes to use multi-factor drive. And that's it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this little review of 2025.18. As usual, remember that Rivian rolls these out in batches. If you are a Connect Plus user, you will get this within the next week or two, and then everybody else will get it a couple of weeks later. If you run into any issues, don't hesitate to let me know in the comments below. As always, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Your support means a great, words are hard, you guys. Your support means a lot to me, and it encourages me to keep doing these type of videos for you. So I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.